Hello, everybody. You have to follow what it says on the screen to start with. So I want everybody to close their eyes. I'm not going to start until you close your eyes. All right. It's been a busy couple of days, so I want you to kind of just come along with me on this. All right. Just for a few seconds, I want you to imagine something with me. Close your eyes. You, down there at the front, close your eyes. So let your mind drift off and imagine this. You're a tailor. You make the most beautiful handcrafted garments. You cut and you sew them to fit your customers, and you take great pride in your work. You source only the finest of fabrics for your clothing and work with the best of designers. And it's all done with the aim of creating the most beautiful clothing that'll sit just right on your clients. But then one day, someone comes along and asks you to make something along the lines of this. It's not quite what you're used to. It's not quite the design and the kind of concept that you've come to be used to creating. So, what do you do? These people clearly know nothing about what it is you can do. They clearly know nothing about how well you can design, how well you can come up with concepts and bring them through to a full project. And sometimes when you work in a newsroom as a data reporter, ferreted away in a corner, it's very difficult to get across the true art that you can impart and not be asked to do something like this suit. And that is a challenge that I find in my own newsroom. So how do you make it better? So I'm here to talk about how to collaborate when nobody understands what it is that you do, what is your art. So one of the challenges of working with data is kind of getting across basically what your part in the process of a story can be. So I'm a data journalist at The Guardian in London, and when the advertisement for my role went up, this was it. So the key phrase that caught my attention was that we were to be aggressively collaborative. So you've got to be aggressively friendly and in people's faces to get the work done. So that was a challenge to begin with. So we already had a data team at The Guardian. We had a data blog. And the idea was that we were going to be a data projects team, so we were going to work on longer term work. We're going to work with reporters and editors and the designers themselves. We're going to be in the middle of everything and work across all of the teams. So how did we kind of come around to developing the ideas of aggressive collaboration? Here are a couple of them. The biggest one that we find that's to be effective is to actually be visible, to be sitting somewhere really visible in your newsroom, because then people can't forget about you. You're not easily overlooked when it comes to kind of planning out a story process. If you're within the view of key specialists or key editors that you work with, then that's been a big thing for us. Another thing in terms of being visible is going to every single meeting possible at the start. Everybody hates meetings, but at the start, if you go to all of the meetings and speak up about what it is that the data or the visuals team can actually have a part in playing in a project, that's also key. That's been one of the big key things for us. Then in terms of also being visible in terms of working with reporters, don't do email. If you're working in something that's highly collaborative, go to the person with the actual work that you've done and sit down with them and go through it. Don't send it to them in an email because it's so easy to ignore, and also for them to kind of overlook the amount of work and time it's taken. The other things are also to find your people. There are key people in the newsroom who will kind of get what you do to begin with. And working in the data team, areas like business, property, education, health, those are all key areas that use a lot of data to begin with. Those people are already in the mindset. So find your people. There are some people who just may not ever actually get what you do or want to get what you do. So you have to find your people and work with them. Remember that your piece of the puzzle is key. So you have a piece of the puzzle, which is an empirical spine to the storytelling or to the project that you can give. And just to remember that when you go into a meeting and you talk with reporters and editors about the next kind of upcoming project, If you pitch your piece as the empirical spine to the project, it gives them an anchor and a hook to kind of build everything else, build their narrative around. Teach and preach in your newsroom. It's a clear way of kind of getting across what it is you do. And finally, once you actually make a breakthrough, you have to start to learn how to say no. And saying no also helps kind of define what it is that you do as a team. All right, and that's it.